The Christmas story is about the birth of light. St. John says of Jesus, the light shines in the darkness. And Christmas is God lighting a candle. And you don't light a candle in a room filled with light. You light a candle in a room that's so dark, so murky, that when that candle is lit, it reveals how bad things really are. In this connection between the birth of Jesus and trouble, between Christmas and between darkness, well, it was something that the early Christians understood. You see, each year we celebrate Christmas on December 25, but this date has nothing to do with the actual day that Jesus was born. Rather, it's connected to the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. And when the early Christians first encountered people who lived north of the Mediterranean region, they learned of their celebration of both the shortest day of the year and the rebirth of light. They called their celebration Alban Arthon. This was considered to be an incredibly important celebration because for all of Earth's creatures, nothing is so fundamental to their survival, to their existence, as light. And this celebration of the rebirth of light was December 21 and 22. Well, the Christians observed this and they said, well, we too have a story about light being born in the midst of darkness. And if you will, we think we can offer your story some added depth. And they said this because they understood Christmas as a story about a dark world in need of light, in need of rescue and redemption and liberation. But if the celebration is December 21 and 22, then why December 25? Well, because in the ancient world, December 25 was the first day one could observe the lengthening of daylight with the naked eye. It was the first day one could see, even in the midst of darkness, that light had been reborn. And this is what Christmas teaches, that the deep dark is not the place where grace and hope and peace and joy and love go to die. The deep dark is the place where grace and hope and peace and joy and love go to be reborn. And Christmas wants us to know not just hope, that it's precisely in the deep dark that a new grace is born. Both Matthew and Luke tell of Jesus' birth in the midst of the surrounding dark circumstances as a way of teaching us that this story, the story of Christmas, wants us to know that it's precisely in the deep dark that a new grace is born. And so as we breathe the cold air of winter, as we hear the words again, God is here, even in the midst of struggle, tragedy, and darkness, we remember it is in that place that God came into the world in Jesus. And every time we choose hope over cynicism, every time we practice generosity over greed, every minute we open ourselves to joy over despair, when we invite the lonely to our dinner tables, when we love in the face of hate, when we practice compassion, when we pursue justice, we once again put flesh and bone on the divine and put on display in ourselves that, yes, God is here. This is why during Advent we celebrate hope, because there are still longings that are unfulfilled. We celebrate peace because there's still division. We celebrate joy because there remains a lingering despair, and love because there's still hatred fueled by fear. And we celebrate light because there's still darkness. But that light still shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And because that light shines, we say, God is here. And so, my friends, whatever deep dark you are facing this season, whatever struggle you may encounter, may you remember, may you come to see, may you know deep in your bones, it is precisely in that place that the grace of God's light, the light of hope, peace, joy, and love, it is in that place of darkness that grace is reborn.